Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I am Jeanette.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Eve.
And we are back for our ABC night. Big episodes for Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy this week. We really enjoyed both of those. And I mean, Station 19, anyways, there was a lot. We had quite a bit of action going on. And it, like, even back at the station, like, stuff happening.
I really enjoyed this week.
Well, I was already excited because Diane's on again, which I guess that explains why Karen hasn't been on 911. But I also love Diane on 19, so now I'm not like sure what I'm upset about. But I was so
I like Diane
her
better than Karen. I know that's awful. Not that I dislike Karen, but I just like Diane better. So if I could have her, if I could only have her one place, I'd choose here.
Diane is fun. I love how she and Vic were like talking about what the cute psych professor.
I want to see him. Like
I
after she
do
said
too.
this, I'm like, can we see him, please?
Yeah, she was talking about the things she would do to that man. I'm like, I need to see this man. Like,
I know. I was like, Diane. Like,
I
let's
need
see
a
him.
picture in my head.
Yeah. Same.
So we have Vic on desk duty. I feel like no, she was. I was going to say again, but she was on desk duty.
No.
Last week. That was Jack. Was it Jack? No.
yeah,
Maya was on last week, right?
Maya and who?
I and Jack.
And Jack. Maya and Jack.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Duh. Okay.
Yeah.
I was starting to get weeks intertwined with each other now.
I know. Me too.
I really enjoyed seeing Diane kind of like put on a fire jacket and like seeing her kind of in action, because we've never known her
Yeah.
in that
It's
side.
like, it never registered. I mean, obviously for her to be a part of the, SFD, like, she has to have the training, but it's like in my head, it never registered that she would like be able to do these things. I don't know. It just never crossed my mind. I just think of her as like therapist. And so it was cool. I liked it.
I know, because whenever Maya called for Diane, I was like, what is she gonna do?
She's a firefighter.
That was my
too,
first
so,
thought.
yeah.
Like, I didn't even like think it through. I was just
Same.
immediate like, why would you call her? What is she gonna do? Call 911?
Yeah. No, I agree. I kind of felt the same, but
I mean, she was the one kind of to keep the lady talking, and she was able to actually do her job in that horrible situation and help Maya at the same time. So
yeah,
I thought it was really cool. This is a familiar face for you guys, right?
it's Davia from Good Trouble, which that was fun to see, even though I don't watch Good Trouble anymore, but I always liked her. I don't know, this deer thing, this terrified me though, I have to say, because like I mean obviously I've never had a deer like come through my window like that, but like I've been in a few accidents where like a deer did like shatter my windshield like when it ran into me.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh my God, like this, I don't know, it was stressful, if I'm being honest, because I remember like the one time it happened, I mean I found like his little furs like stuck on my like windshield wiper because he had like rolled up, and like so this was stressful because I'm like, oh my God, like this could have been me. Like
They do a lot of damage to cars. Like, it is crazy.
Yes.
I was a little confused at first because like I was like looking at this, deer in her car, and I'm trying to figure out, it's like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't figure out like what the emergency was. I'm like, obviously there's a deer in her windshield and that's a problem, but like, is it piercing her too? Or is it just like really close to her face? I was really confused. And she was freaking out the whole time, which was hilarious. She was like,
I would have been.
She's doing introductions right now. I was like, I'm right there with you. Like, this is not time for introductions.
When it jerked, I think I jumped myself. I was like, oh God, it's alive. Because I thought it was gonna be alive. And
I was like, oh my God, they're not gonna like kill it.
I mean, they would have had to if that was the case, though.
I was so scared. And then for a second, I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be okay because Diane is ensuring me it's okay. And then I'm like, this is a TV show.
Yeah, it was stressful.
Diane says it's okay.
The fake psychiatrist says it's okay, so it's okay.
No, but I mean, that was terrifying. I don't know why like no ambulance got there before that. Did they not call before that? Because then we see the other ambulance come and get her.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
like I feel like they had like there was a long time for them to take him out of that car, and there's like the other
Yeah.
ambulance like just pulled up once they all had her like out and safe. So I
Yeah,
wonder.
that's true. I wonder maybe they didn't. Maybe I don't know. I mean,
Maybe they felt they didn't need backup right away, but I don't know. Like you'd think they'd want an ambulance there, like ready to go for when she was
mhm.
Yeah.
out, but then there was like it showed her like being pulled out. There's an ambulance there already. So
Perfect timing, I guess.
But also probably I mean, obviously it wasn't as long for them as it was for us, I
Yeah.
guess. And no, I'm just trying to think about it now. And they would have had to come from a different district.
Hmm.
I mean, because 19 would is usually that
Yeah.
district.
Yeah.
So they're coming from a little bit further away, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are my
So it
excuses I'm
took
going to
some
keep
time.
with.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But I want to see the damage she did on the way to the fire station.
Right.
Because that car, she's like, I hit everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
oh
when
my
she said
God.
I hit everything on the way here, I was like, oh yes, honey, I'm sure you did.
Like, is
Well,
everything
I'm
else
like,
okay?
is there is no other calls?
Right. Oh, she had me stressed out though when she started talking about her husband, because I mean, Karina had already been sort of trying to get information from Diane about Maya and what was going on, and
Yeah.
of course, Diane being, I love the way Diane handled Karina's questions. That she was like, "Can't tell you that," like she handled it in such a therapist kind of way. Like I
did.
just love the way she was doing it. But then when I don't know what her name was, I just want to call her Davia, the lady with the deer, was talking about like not wanting to move there and how like she loved where she was maybe even more than her husband. I'm like, shh, because I feel like this is like don't get Karina to where Karina's like ready to like leave Maya, because
Leave
as much
Maya.
as like no, like I want them to be okay. So
I think that's actually what that entire storyline was supposed to kind of do, is to have Karina question
mhm.
if I honestly think that's why they made that storyline.
Yeah.
This year we have a different like a different showrunner.
I didn't remember that until you just now said that, but
So I'm
well, that makes me
as I
nervous.
watch,
Don't
I'm
mess stuff
trying to
up.
like pay attention and see where they're kind of going to go, because I feel like different showrunners are going to have their different ways of doing things.
Yeah. No, yeah, they definitely will.
Even though I don't feel like there was that much difference from Shonda to Krista.
No.
I don't feel like there was too much. So it's still Shonda Land. So
Right.
she's still, I don't know. That was just a thought that came into my head is, I want to keep our eyes open to see if there's any differences for different
Yeah.
showrunners.
Yeah.
But also Karina's little heart to heart with Vic
Yeah.
was,
I love Vic.
yeah, I know. I do too.
I just like the way, I mean, she just had a way of, reassuring her that, I mean, because what else? I mean, I understand Diane can't say that because then that's now her professional opinion. But Vic, as a friend, can say, no, you guys are going to be good. Like, you're going to make it.
Yeah.
Which I really do think they will. I mean, they're sort of our only like long-term couple on the show. They've kind of had something since the beginning, really. I mean, or pretty quickly from the beginning. I mean, maybe not first season, but like it's been a long time. So
Mhm.
And
Yes.
they're really doing a number on Maya. Like they've really turned her around, and she's making pretty, well, at least to me, impressive strides, because she's like showing, like she's sharing guilt that I never felt over anything she's ever done before.
Yes.
So I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm getting a small like little glimmer of hope as far as Maya and Karina go, because I mean, Maya's starting to finally own up to like the crappy things that she does.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I think
I
she
was-
needs to. It's way, way too long overdue.
Yeah, and I was proud of her. I don't. Is it weird that I had forgotten that she like gave Beckett that bottle of alcohol? I did for
forgot.
some reason.
I'd
I
forgotten
knew,
that.
but I forgot.
I'd
But
forgotten, but when they were talking about it, I remembered what they were talking.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, Of course, then I was kind of being mean as the conversation was going on. I was like, well, it is kind of your fault. Maybe that's that bottle of liquor he's drinking there in his office. Like, this is you, Maya. Like, in my head, I was like, meh. But
Well, I mean, at the same time, she shouldn't have done. They're both in the wrong.
Yeah.
I think
What
we've
did
said
you
that from the
all-
past. I mean, she shouldn't have given to him, and he should have thrown it away
Absolutely.
at that moment
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
not kept. But I mean, that's temptation. That's
And
something
especially when
alcoholics go through.
yeah, I think that was a lot. I mean, I think I've been saying for weeks, like I want to see us progress through him too. Now, I don't know if he'll ever be like a favorite character or if he'll ever be anything to me really, but like I don't like seeing him as a villain, like especially when we're seeing someone who clearly has a disease and has like an addiction that like I want to see him get better. And I'm hoping that's where we're going after this episode. What did you all think though with kind of the mutiny that happened at the barbershop fire? Because I was not on board with it, if I'm being honest with you.
I was not for it. I was really annoyed with everybody, like every single person, except for the people, except for Diane, Vic, and Karina. They were fine. They were not a part of this.
Right.
Like everyone else, I was so annoyed with, and I mean, they're on a call, like a mutiny, like, you know,
like for me, like you all should have had the discussion that, okay, we're just going to kind of let this ride. And if we notice that something's happened, then Andy, then you jump in.
Yeah.
And take over. But
I don't know why they couldn't have just been like, okay, well, you know, guys, we're going to keep an eye on him. I'm going to try and run the show like behind the scenes and like cover his butt.
Yeah. Instead, they made a huge public scene.
They didn't have to do a full out mutiny. I mean, that's just unacceptable when you're on a call. Like anything can go wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it was.
So I honestly feel like they should have called Ross maybe on the way, send her a message even and say, hey, something's not right with Beckett. You know, this is what we want to do. Can you come down here?
Yeah. No, that would have worked.
Not just, I mean, because I understand Ross's frustration. Now she has to deal with this. They don't.
Yeah.
She does. And there was no communication to her. And I feel like she has really earned their respect in this show. She's had their backs. She's listened to them. She's been a great chief. I mean,
yeah.
And for them to go around and do this, I did not agree with it. I honestly, I didn't think Ben was going to go along with it, but he ended up going along with it.
I think he didn't have a choice, though. I mean, what were you going to do? Be the only one not going along with it? I mean, everyone else is. What are you going to do?
I'm just so confused by the whole thing because after everything Ross has done for them, like, what had she ever done to make them not trust her enough? Or, you know, they didn't feel like they could just call her and say, hey, we're at this call, Beckett's not okay, can you like get down here? Like, I don't know why they felt they couldn't call her and ask her to do that.
Well, and the thing is on this one, I mean, yes, his hands were shaking and all of that, but I honestly, he seemed better on this call than he has on others. I'm not sure that it wouldn't have worked out okay, if I'm being honest. Like, it's honestly Theo. Like, Theo's kind of bugging me. Like, I think he's
getting to the point where he's bugging me. Yes.
In this thing against Beckett.
He's too impulsiveness.
Yeah. Like the one that I like, I mean, I feel like we've seen Sullivan has been kind of against this whole thing, but he comes at it in a different way that is, he just wants to do what's right by the station. And also, like, he seems to have some compassion. Maybe that's because of the addiction and he understands that. Because I think there is room to have still compassion for Beckett. I mean, alcoholism, it's a disease. And this is something he's suffering from. And I think he deserves a little bit of compassion in these situations.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a jerk. I mean, we can hate him for being a jerk.
Like, he's never going to be a favorite character of mine. But at the same time, we have to be sensitive to this disease. I mean, he's the way he is because of a certain reason. And I feel like what they did, usually, I mean, in past weeks, I would have been like, he deserves it. Da, da, da. But he just lost a firefighter. This
Yes.
might be one of the first big fires he's gone on since that entire thing. He might have been shaking because he was probably a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
He's
Or
under
like they said,
investigation.
we
I
didn't
mean,
see him take a drink this week. He might
no.
have been shaking because he's like after that like training thing, he did stop again. It
Mhm.
might have been a detox shake, as someone pointed that out. I mean, maybe Jack or I don't know, someone pointed that out, that maybe that's why. And I think, which is also still dangerous. Like, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah,
I just was unhappy with how I feel like they jumped the gun
I do too.
a little bit.
And now we have a
And
bigger mess.
when Beckett ran into that fire, y'all, I got scared. Like, I don't even like him, but I was like, oh my God, he's going to die. And I was
Yeah.
like, and then how will all of them feel? Like, this will be like a huge thing.
Yep.
I
It
don't know.
was that whole, he shouldn't have jumped into the freaking fire. That guy probably would have died if he didn't.
Yeah.
Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. But I mean, okay. And you know what? I made a note of this too. How long did it take them to cut off a freaking metal door?
I know.
I felt like that took way
It seemed
too
like
long.
a long time. It seemed like a
I'm
long
like,
time.
bzz, 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 done. What are you doing?
You would think so.
Maybe
I know.
they need different tools or something. Because I feel like the tools in my garage, I could have gotten through that door faster than they did.
In my head, I just kept thinking, we need squad, because squad would have already been inside there in no time. Everything would have been fine.
I don't know what they were doing. Like I honestly wrote it down so I wouldn't forget to say it on the podcast because it made me so frustrated.
I know. No, I agree. I
Like,
agree.
what's going on? And this
But
also, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I mean, so by the time that Ross like kind of laid into them over this, I was like, absolutely, girl. Because she
Yeah.
was working behind the scenes. She obviously didn't trust this investigation with the boys club that was happening and that Beckett obviously had in his pocket here.
Mhm.
And I thought it was really smart of her to just, go back and decide, okay, which I think that should be the case. You should have more than one investigator on these type of things so that there isn't some sort of like bias happening. Because you've
Absolutely.
got friends and stuff, and that probably happens all the time. So I think that's a great move, regardless of what's happening right now. That should just be standard.
I was confused from the get-go why it was only one guy doing these interviews, because I was thinking, shouldn't it be some kind of committee that does this for exactly that reason?
It should be a committee.
Because it seems like Beckett's been in the department for a long time, so obviously he's going to have a lot of friends in high places.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's
No, I
not fair. It's
Yeah.
favoritism. You shouldn't have any kind of, I mean, when they were coming out of that office laughing and hitting each other on the backs and just having a
Mhm.
good old time,
Yeah.
that really frustrated me because I'm like, that's not even professional.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
No,
like,
I don't
somebody's dead.
Mhm.
I don't want Beckett punished per se. Like, I don't want bad stuff to happen to him, but I do want him. Well, I mean, he kind of solved the problem himself at the end, but I did want to see him like being forced to get the help that he needs.
Yeah.
And
That's
did he
what
say
I wanted.
he was going to read, because he said what, he's checking out and checking in or something like that? Does that mean is he
He
going
says
to
I'm
read
going to
that?
get help.
Good. And I wondered though, did he like decide that at that moment? Because I mean, here they sent him to the hospital. You think they were probably going to run a blood test? Were they going to find alcohol? So he probably was like, no, let's just go ahead and.
I mean,
Because then he
maybe
would have been, yeah. I mean, I think he was kind of left with no choice. This is good.
it is.
Like I said, I didn't want him to be punished either, but I want him to get help for sure.
Yep. And hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they can come back and stop this drama with Beckett. I mean, I
Yeah.
know
I
we
mean-
have to have drama in these shows. It's a drama show.
Yeah.
We're gonna always have drama.
Yeah. And I mean,
But
I do want him to move on, because I mean, I do want Andy to be captain. I mean, like, so I do want that to happen. But I don't know. Sometimes he made me laugh. Like, I kind of sometimes enjoyed the dynamic that he brought. Like, I don't know.
I wouldn't mind Beckett
made
being
it
there. I wouldn't
interesting.
mind Beckett being captain.
Yeah.
As long as he quits being a jerk face.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, I don't think he's horrible,
No, I don't think so
but
either.
I think he needs help, and I don't like him per se
Mhm.
right now. So
So before we move on to our preview for next week, though, like we have to talk just a tiny bit about my new favorite couple, which is Andy and Eli. Because
That was adorable.
how funny! Like I loved that Vic was like, "Oh, he's funny," because he is funny, and it's like, well, text message, and of course, what did she write back to him? I don't remember what she wrote back exactly, but she like came back at the whole like.
I forget what she wrote back, but then she tossed the phone back to her and said, "There, now he'll think you're funny too."
I
Oh,
liked it.
I was like, "Oh God, what did she say?"
But you can tell how much Andy likes him, because Andy isn't a person that gets rattled very easily, and she was definitely didn't know how to respond back to him. You could tell she was nervous about it.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely shows how much that. Now Travis doesn't know about the kiss yet, right? She only told Vic, because I wonder what Travis would think. I don't know. I'm curious.
I want him to know.
I want him to know too. I think he will be taken back. I think he'll like it, but I think he'll be taken back at first. Like, wait a minute, what?
I really need him to find out, and I need it to be like on screen where we watch his face.
Yeah, no,
please.
for sure.
That's all that's all we want. That's what we want the most, is just to see a reaction from Travis. That's our ask.
I agree.
I hope so.
It'd be good. Be good.
I want to see more of them together.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I need more. We didn't even get to see him this week. I need more.
I know. And I wonder, like, because the preview for next week, like, we didn't see any more. Hopefully we do get to see more of them. But as far as like the preview, like, it was mostly just about, I guess.
I think
Ross
it's mostly just going to be Ross and
taking over.
taking over and doing, this. Oh, Maya.
Poor Maya. Come on. Like,
Maya.
not that I want anyone else to get injured or anything happen or whatever, but like, I think it's time. I think she's allowed to have a week off here. I mean, she just got back from like her slip and I mean, like, she just got back from everything else that was happening, and now we're in some sort of cave and she's gonna like slip. I mean, like,
I think she'll be fine.
I'm sure she will. It's just
I think they're just trying to scare us.
Yeah.
We had somebody die 2 weeks ago, even though we didn't know them. Hopefully there's no more deaths right now.
Well, I put nothing past these people, but
I know.
Hopefully not. But I mean, I think it looks like she's panicking a little, so I'm not even sure if that's. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little soon for her to be back to work, so we'll see how all this is.
I do too. I thought it was too soon for her to be even back on desk duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 1 week of desk duty. Like, is that enough? Like, I don't know.
I was surprised that she was, because when they showed Vic on desk duty, I was like, where's Maya though? Like, shouldn't she be there too?
Yeah, you would think. But
you would think so, but apparently she's all better.
All better. So we'll see. Hopefully everything will be okay. But I'm happy to see Ross in charge, because I love her. I think that'll be interesting to see her in charge of the station.
I wonder why they just didn't put Andy as acting.
Well, I guess because she's in trouble.
Because she's pissed at the entire station. She has to be there to babysit.
Oh, that's true.
She's in trouble.
That's true.
You don't get to revolt and then be captain. That's not how that works.
And I want to know real quick before we move on to Grey's Anatomy. What does Jack have to do to be a lieutenant again? Because did you notice he didn't have a red hat? So he's not a lieutenant because he left for too long? Like,
probably. He's probably got to work back up a little bit.
That's just almost the whole station is lieutenants, though. Did you all notice that? It's literally Vic, Travis, and Ben, and I guess now Jack, that are not lieutenants. Theo's a lieutenant. Sullivan's a lieutenant. Maya's a lieutenant. Like, they're all lieutenants.
How are they all lieutenants?
I guess it's not like Chicago where there has to be a certain number of places for them. You just take the test and you are one, I guess.
That's weird.
But they're all, because I was like, man, that's a lot. Everybody's got on a red hat. I kept noticing. I was like everyone does over here.
Maybe if there were less lieutenants, then we wouldn't have had a big ugly revolt on our hands. I don't know. Or we probably still would have, because they're still them.
They're still them. I think we still would have gotten that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, because there doesn't really seem to be any clear cut, like, who's supposed to be on the ambulance and who's like on.
I know, it's so confusing.
Very cut and dry, like on Chicago, because who is with with team, but like they're all like
See, I never had trouble keeping this straight though before I started watching Chicago. Now it's gotten messed up in my head. Like,
Yes,
now,
I mean, Chicago was the last of our like first responder shows
yeah.
that I binged. And still, like, I'm measuring everything up to Chicago. Like, Chicago's the only one who does it right. Everyone else is wrong. Like, they need to get themselves together.
That's how I feel. But I don't know. I guess do we have to dive into this crazy Grey's Anatomy episode now?
Woo!
This was so good though. I have to admit, I really
was
enjoyed
real
this
good.
episode.
I
really
did enjoy it.
I knew as soon as all those random OBGYN doctors, the residents that came up, I knew that pregnant one was going to cause trouble.
You did?
I did. She was dressed unlike the other ones.
Oh.
She was like more upfront. She spoke more, and I was like, she's going to be an important part in this. Like, there's going to be something with her.
I had no idea.
Knew it, and I was watching her too. I didn't trust her.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
No, I thought she was like more evil than she ended up being. I thought she was going to be like an insider, like do something bad. Honestly, I did. But she was just a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
And then I felt really bad at the end.
I know, right? Oh, but even before we got to all of that, like I was laughing so hard at like the interns and their struggles of like poor Lucas forgetting to pay the gas bill. He seemed so distracted. I just felt awful for him.
And he couldn't even figure out how to pay it.
No, I guess because they're all still in their names, and so he didn't know the code. Which I feel him on sometimes when you call in to try to talk about something like, "Can you give me your PIN number?" I don't know my PIN number. Like, what do I need to do? Like, hold on, let us email you one. So I'm like, okay, email it to me, and then I'm gonna tell you what it says. Like,
I just start spouting off all of our PIN numbers. I'm like, is it one of these?
Well, that's when it's not those, I'm like, well, then I don't know. Okay, I'm giving you the only ones I can think of.
I had to call CenturyLink once to figure out what was going on, like with my like power, like my power was out, or I don't know, I had to call someone. My power was out.
Yeah.
And I was trying to call them because, you know, I was smart and I put it in my phone contacts. So I didn't have to look it up.
Yeah.
And and they're like, can you give us the number on your account? No, because I'd have to go online to find that. Okay, well, we can wait for you. I'm like, I can't. I'm calling because my power's out.
I know, right?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like,
yeah, just look up my name, people.
Like, this shouldn't be too hard. You're a power company. Like, don't you have like some kind of protocol in place for this?
Yeah.
I never give them my account number. I'm not, even if I'm sitting right next to it, I'm like, I don't have it.
No,
I'll look it up some other way.
I mean, usually your social or something's attached to it. I know that number. Just look it up by that.
Here's my name. Like, can't you just look up my name? Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll give them anything. I'm like, you want my social? You want my birthday? You want my...
Yeah, I'm not giving you an account number because I don't know.
And I am not getting up and start digging through stuff or trying to go online and trying to figure out my login right now.
But I mean, I don't know. So I felt bad for him. They were all so mad at him for not. But I mean, I guess poor Yasuda was in the shower when there was like no hot water. Like, I get it. Like, that would be pretty terrible. I get it.
I thought it was funny.
Pretty lousy way to start your morning. I mean, I don't blame her.
What about Simone? She's still planning this stupid wedding that I really hope is not going to happen.
It better not.
I really need Lucas to like interrupt the wedding the same. Like,
I said this
Jackson style. Yes, please.
I said this week that they were giving me like J-April vibes, and like I was really into them. Like, they're up to that level. That would be, I mean, amazing. Because I feel like that's the vibes they're giving me. Because, you know, like Trey, probably a great guy, just like Matthew, cool, like whatever. But like, he's not the one.
Yeah,
he's not the one.
He's
just
not
like
her person.
He's not her person. Clearly, Lucas is.
What name do we decide on?
What did we decide? Limone or whatever.
Limone. It looked real fancy.
I was saying it.
You had an I. I think we should put a U, so it's Lumone.
Lumone. That's what we did. Yeah, that's what we decided on.
So you need to be there because, you know, Lucas needs more letters than that.
Lumone.
I was really trying to brainstorm because I would have loved to have done something with Skywalker, just because I love that that's like his nickname. but I couldn't think of anything clever. So
No, you have to go the first two names. The first,
well, you don't
first.
always.
Yeah, you do.
Well, that's
The
why.
rules of it.
Well,
I guess
Amanda
you don't have to
came
go
up
by the
with. Amanda had so much success with the Waggy, so I knew she'd come up with something real nice.
You just gotta let it come out then.
There you go. Well, we got it. Limon then.
Waggy was. I'm still laughing over Waggy because that was not planned.
It's perfect.
And I was sitting there going along with it, like, yeah, that's her name. That's totally
Good.
normal.
I just said it and I was like, I
It
was trying to
works.
say Winston and Maggie. Came
Yeah.
out Waggy.
But I don't know. Simone's got it all wrong. They're not gonna, but she wants to move the wedding up to like next month.
Next
She's
month.
just trying to like, she's trying to go ahead and get it done so she can get Lucas out of her head, but that's not gonna work.
Not gonna work. She's not gonna marry him.
There's
She's
no
not
way.
gonna marry him. No.
I hope he does interrupt like Jackson style. That would be
Either
Yeah,
that
so cool.
or who else had a I mean, weddings and grays have always been
That's
kind
the
of
only
bigger
interruption,
episodes
though,
that
isn't it?
like there's always like an interruption. There's always some, I mean, I cannot freaking wait. Cause I guarantee you we're gonna see her dress veil in the church.
If it's next month, will that be the season finale? Because it could be. That would be about the right time if we're saying next month.
Could be.
Could be, yeah. Next month in
this
TV
one out.
time would be the end of the
Probably
season.
the end of the season, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we could.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
We need a good
But-
wedding.
Like, and then of course Maggie made me mad again this episode. Just the way, like, I feel like she was being, like, I understand Lucas was really distracted by this whole like gas bill thing, and I mean, like when he messed up, like what he was saying about. I mean, like I get it, he was messing up, but I feel like she was a little harsh in that. I mean, like her and Nick both could see like he was stressed about something. So how about like maybe not in front of the patients, maybe definitely, you know, kind of getting back on track there, but like when you're outside the room, how about be like Amelia did when she came up, like, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's clear that like there's something up. And he's not just an intern, like he's like Meredith and Amelia's nephew.
He's royalty.
So he's like he's family to her.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I don't know, there should be something. But Maggie just annoyed me.
Don't worry, she's leaving soon.
Exactly.
When do we know her last episode? Somebody said it was this week, but I don't
I don't
that
think
was
so.
right.
I heard
No.
April, but I don't know if that was her last. I don't know if that was an air date or, you know, her last
Filming.
like film date.
Okay. So it's not yet.
No, not yet. I don't think. I think they would.
I still think because they're talking now that Meredith is so stressed being out there. I honestly think Maggie's gonna go to Boston to help Meredith.
That would be good.
Nick
would-
travels all the time.
Yeah, I saw that as a setup. I was like, they are 100% setting up for Maggie's exit with this
Yeah.
whole Meredith being stressed out thing.
As soon as they started talking about like she's getting lost and she's stressed, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Meredith has never been on her own when it comes to the kids. Even after Derek
No.
died, like she's always had tons of people around to help her.
Mhm.
And I mean, Jackson and April are there, but you know, it's not
Yeah.
the
They're
same.
two doctors. I mean,
Yeah, so like it's not
they
the
have their own family.
They've got the kid of their own too. So I mean,
So our big patient this week is this guy who needs 2 lungs, right? And they only have one.
No,
The
it was the girl. It was the girl.
the girl.
It was the girlfriend. That's right.
Her boyfriend.
And her
was gonna
boyfriend was
donate.
coming to give her a lung. And he was speeding and going too fast and wrecked. No.
Yeah.
That's what the mom
How-
said.
I mean, unfortunate, right? Like, I don't know. I felt like that whole thing was like I don't know, like that was kind of a throwback to like
Stretch.
old, like kind of the old Grays a little bit. Like here they've got this patient, they're like, oh wait, that's him. Like I don't know. I mean, obviously it wasn't
Yeah.
as big of a deal as like the George thing or whatever, but it was still like a moment, like oh my gosh, like how awful, you know?
That was. I liked it.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
seem like such a sweet couple because even he like I mean he was like he just wanted to like be better so he could do this for her. And then even you know she's over there like I don't care about my lungs, like just save him. I'm like this is really
Ugh,
sweet, you
I
know.
know.
But-
It was so
Mhm.
so sweet and so sad.
Mm.
I'm glad Winston was able to be a rock star this week.
Yeah, how great
We
was
needed
he
some
this
good
week?
Winston.
I think I really, really like Winston. And I think I'm glad that this week and him and how great he did.
Mm-hmm.
And Owen kind of, telling him as well. Cause I mean, like that, we don't want him to leave cardio. And I know he's doing it to try to save his marriage, but maybe Maggie leaving and going somewhere else, maybe they will be able to somehow still maintain something long distance. I don't know. I mean, because
I don't know.
I do see like love between the two of them, but it's clear they cannot work together in this way.
Absolutely not.
And so maybe for them, a long distance marriage like that is the best thing for them. I don't know. It seems odd.
I think they might try to be like, let's take some time apart. I'm gonna go help Meredith with the kids for a little while. And then either maybe they're gonna float apart from each other, or maybe he ends up moving there.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least when you're big two successful surgeons, I mean, y'all have the money to fly and see each other every single weekend if you want to. You could make this work. Like other people, regular people like me could not do this living across the country from their spouse because you would never be able to afford to see each other. But like they could be fine.
Honestly, I don't know if I even care enough for them to get back together. Like, I just want, at this point, I'm just so fed up with Maggie. Like, I'm so bored with her. I'm so annoyed with her.
Agreed.
I want her gone. And I'm like, I don't care what they do as long as they get Maggie gone.
Yeah. I mean, that's unfortunate. But I do like Winston, so I don't think that I want him to leave.
I really don't care at this point. I know they haven't. I like Winston, but they have not made me fall in love with him. And
I would agree with that.
I have like I would probably be really upset if like something bad happened to him. But if he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go be with Maggie in Boston," and they just like wrote off, I'd be like, "Okay."
But that just means we'd have to get a new cardio person, and then what if they're terrible? I mean, so many of the cardio people have been awful.
Or they can be great.
They could, but I mean, who have we had that's been great? I mean, obviously, even Christina, like she's a fan favorite, but it's not like she's great.
Well, I think,
in my opinion,
also
like
cardio is they're
Nathan?
almost like neurosurgeons. They're just super egotistical. I mean, most surgeons are.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about all our neuros and all of our cardios. They've always been super
I like the neuros better than the
egotistical
cardios. The cardio people, I feel like I've not liked any of them other than maybe Riggs. Like I liked him.
Yeah,
That's about it.
I think other than that, no.
I don't know.
I mean, I love Christina, but she was again hard to work with.
Well, it's because she was like one of the first I mean, like that's the only reason I think I feel anything for her. If she had been somebody they brought in like everybody else, I wouldn't have liked her, I don't think.
That's true.
You know?
I don't know. I think I still would have liked her, but she probably wouldn't be on like, my top 10 favorite characters of Grey's if she wasn't a Magic member.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So who knows?
But yeah, no, I agree with that. Now Nick is the one that I'm not sure about. Like we said, I mean, if Winston wants to go with Maggie wherever she goes, okay, cool. I do like Nick, guys, and I think he's really great for the interns. I think he was really great with Lucas this week. But I do want him to be with Meredith, so I don't know how I want that to play out, if I'm being honest.
I want that too, but same. I don't, as much as I want it, I don't know how they're going to make it work with him being in Seattle and her being in Boston, but I also don't want him to leave. He's so great with the interns.
Yeah.
I honestly, the greatness of Nick's job is that he travels.
That's true.
All the time. That's pretty much his job, is to travel around.
That's
so
true.
Even if he was in Boston, or even if he was located in Seattle, him and Meredith are going to see each other about the same time because he's always gone. And I mean, he'll be in Seattle. We'll get to see him from time to time. Mm-hmm. I think he should be based out of Boston, stay with Meredith, and then like come on to Seattle from time to time to do transplants.
Yeah.
That way we get some Nick time. He's still on the show, but he's still with Meredith.
But he's
And
got to be in charge of like, because wasn't he in charge? I mean, he's like in charge of like the intern program, isn't he?
is he anymore?
Is it the resident? I forget.
Or the residents, maybe.
Richard's in charge of something, but then Nick is in charge of something as far as like the like education side
Yeah,
goes.
I thought it was the interns because I feel like he's with them a lot.
That could be it. I can't
don't
remember
know.
which one he's supposed to be over.
I
I think the residents.
I think it's the resident program that Nick's in charge of, but he works a lot with the interns.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe
Well,
it's
we
the
only
interns.
have
I don't know.
one-
It's one of them.
I love
Not
him
one
with,
resident, don't we?
he was so great with Lucas this week, though. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. He poor Lucas, man. He's feeling very lost, and I don't. This also kind of confused me. I don't mean to be a complainer this week because I really did enjoy this episode, but I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
He was not that close to freaking Meredith. Like,
Yeah,
I think
really
different after Meredith.
I was
this kind of
thinking
stuff.
that too. And then even I went and I was reading the recap just to make sure I got everything. And I saw that, you know, played out again, like in the recap.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't get it because I never had the impression that he was super close with Meredith. Even off camera, I never got that impression.
No, I don't think he was. I think it was more of like it shook his confidence because like he knew that Meredith was there and then like with her being gone and because she obviously had believed in him and like picked him to be there, I think it just sort of shook his confidence and wondering like, so do I actually belong here or was I picked because I'm Derek's nephew? Like I think it was just a confidence, like he just wasn't feeling himself. But I was glad that Nick told him because I was thinking too, I'm like, I don't care who you are. Meredith is not going to give you an opportunity unless you deserve it. Like she's not one to show favoritism. That's not who she is. And so I'm glad that Nick explained that. Like, you know,
you got this because of you.
She may have wanted to help you because of Derek, but if you didn't deserve it, she wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't waste her time with people who she feels are not worth her time.
No, or should she? I mean,
yeah.
I liked Nick's little words of wisdom to him. That was, I think it was a big help. And he also helps him with that pitch for Maggie. So Nick helped them a lot this week.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to see.
If he leaves, I'm afraid we're going to lose a little bit of that because we don't really see. I mean, we see Amelia interact a little bit with Lucas, you know, because they're family, but we haven't really seen like in the past, like we had sort of mentors for like our interns. And so far we're not seeing any of that. No one has like taken them under their wing to like help them. I mean, we don't have like a situation like Arizona with Alex or like, you know, I mean, people that have really like picked them up and like helped them here. And so I'd like to see more of that, I think.
I know we got a little bit of that with Jules and Joe that one week.
That's true.
Yeah.
With that one woman who came in. And I know, I don't remember if you were on with us, Jeanette, but I remember talking to Amanda about how we hoped that that was going to really turn into something, but they haven't really touched that since. But I don't know, maybe they'll come back to it.
Yeah, maybe it's just early, but that's something I look forward to seeing, I think.
Absolutely. I want more of that. I want more one-on-one time with the interns and the attendings.
Yeah. And then, oh, how sad was that last little scene, though, when Jessica's talking to Ryan about their first kiss and things. And I'm telling you, the heat, you can feel it through the screen when it comes to like Lucas and Simone. Like, I don't think we've had a couple that I have felt that chemistry on Grace in a very long time.
Yep.
And
it's somebody it's like we're excited for it.
I mean, it is back to like Meredith, Derek. Like, it reminds me a little bit more of like J-April with Jackson April, because they tried to hide their feelings for each other for so long. And so that's sort of the vibe. But like, again, in all of their scenes, it radiated. Like, you could tell that there was so much chemistry between those two actors that there was no way to hide it. And I'm obsessed already.
See, I keep getting Meredith and Derek from Limon.
I think there's that too, but I don't know.
I mean, because they did too. They had to hide their feelings. When Addison came back, they had this, they had this little relationship before, and then boom, somebody comes in and surprises.
Yeah.
And then that person, and to me, this is Meredith and Derek, because
Yeah.
they
I could
had
see
a
that
little bit of
too.
a relationship start, just barely. I mean, they didn't have as long of one as
Yeah.
Meredith and Derek did at the beginning of season 1, but
Yeah.
they had like a little tiny thing, and then her fiance comes in, like like
Yeah.
Addison came in, interrupted it, and Derek went off with Addison, and Simone's going off with Trey.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be like that for a little bit. Lucas is going to kind of hang off to the side, and then they'll merge.
Yeah.
But also Trey's not he's not a character.
Yeah.
So we're not
Unless
going
he
to see
moves
him
there.
like in the hospital setting at all. It's going to be a lot harder for us to connect
Unless
with
he
him.
moves there though.
But then what does he do for work?
He's a doctor too. He's like
Doctor,
also a surgeon.
They met because they were in the same intern program, the
Oh.
one where she lost
Yep.
her shit.
That's right. That's right. It's coming back. Forgot.
So it's possible he'll come to work there.
Isn't he on a program too?
Yeah, but I don't want him to be on the show and then I grow to like him. Like, I don't want to like him. I just want him to go away.
I don't want to like him either.
But I mean, you could still like him and still root for them though. Because I mean, we look at Addison, who I mean we all loved, and if that's who we're comparing him to, or in the case, I mean, like I said it could also be like a Matthew type,
Yeah.
which we also liked. But I mean,
Yeah.
in this case, if we're saying that they're Meredith and Derek, and then he's the Addison, we all love Addison. I mean, look
Yeah.
at her this week. I mean, we're all super excited every time we see her like pop back up on our screens. So I think even if he did join us, there's still hope. There's still hope.
There is still hope. I mean, we'll have to. It's going to be kind of a wait and see how they decide to play this. Because, like we said earlier, we have a new showrunner. Who
Yeah.
knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, that's true.
I think they're going to still keep it Grey's centric. I mean, not going to change it too much. And obviously, I feel like all of us. I feel like all Grey's Anatomy fans have like fallen back in love with Grey's this season. So keep doing what they're doing, I guess. It's working.
Charge now, they're doing a good job because I'm liking the show more than I have in the last 2-3 years. So
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I think most of us are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just like us and like FFC. I'm seeing so many people talking
Mhm.
about, and I'm also starting to see like Grey's things more too. Like people actually talking about Grey's Anatomy more than they have in the past.
Mhm.
And also this season, they're huge on TikTok, which I think is
Everybody, did you see
amazing.
Kim?
Yeah,
join
she got one.
TikTok? I was like, I loved it. And she had like her check mark. Like I saw the comments because I mean, I feel like as soon as she posted her TikTok, I mean, she got her verification.
Oh,
Poor
yeah.
Chris had to work for his. Like,
Did he?
I feel like it took forever for him to get like verified. Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, I've been following him since like the beginning too, but I
Yeah.
don't remember.
But yeah, I mean, so they're all kind of on there now, which I think, I mean, and TikTok's huge, so I mean, it's going to keep you relevant for sure.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
That was fun to see.
But I don't know, this week, I mean, the hardest part, I think, like the other patient that we saw, as well as like the clinic, because I mean, we had the pregnant lady and her friend that came into the clinic, and then just everything
Mhm.
surrounding the clinic with, like we said, I mean, Addison like is there. We all love Addison, and we were very excited to see her back. It was stressful though. Like this whole storyline was so stressful.
Was anybody else a little bit very confused though when at the beginning? Like, why was everybody mad at Addison? Like, why was she looking like?
No, I knew exactly why.
Because I feel like it had been too long. Like, I almost forgot about.
Mhm.
Like, obviously, in real life, I have not forgotten everything going
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
but I felt like it kind of came out of left field.
Yeah. I think they should have probably addressed it a little more, but I mean, I kind of figured just because
It clicked really fast. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
take me very long to figure it out, but
Yeah.
I was just like, wait, what? For like probably a good couple of minutes. I was like, oh, okay.
when we first saw her, I was like, good Lord, she looks disheveled. And I was really, I was a little confused at first, but then like a few seconds later when she was talking about, the PRT
Yeah.
thing she's doing, I was like, oh yeah, I bet that's like everything surrounding that is what's going on. And we found out later, like what all she's seen and gone through and everything. So that
I don't get it. I mean, just like we saw like all the protesters outside. Look,
would they really go after one doctor?
If you don't agree with this, fine. That is like your right. It is even your right to peacefully protest. But I don't understand blocking doorways, being violent. I mean, that just seems so crazy to me that
throwing bricks through windows. Like,
I got stressed when poor Blue got hit by that like thing. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, he's not even like, he's probably my least favorite of all the interns or whatever, but like I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, he took a brick to the head over this.
He's not my favorite, but I don't want bricks thrown at his head.
No. And I mean, like, I don't know. This whole, like I said, I was stressed through the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, like, we've got a patient there that two patients, because I mean we've got the two best friends. One is pregnant, one is there for an abortion.
I love that mix up at the very beginning. I'm sorry, maybe I'm a bad person for saying this, but I thought that was so funny. Like, you're probably not going to be getting you're not probably not going to be getting one of these today. And she's like, no, that's my friend.
I
was panicking. I was like,
I was confused too, because when she said how far along she was, I was like, oh no, wait, you can't do that. Like, they're not gonna do that. And then she's like, no, not me, her. And I was like, oh, okay.
I was sitting there just going,
I was just as confused as like Minka and Blue were, for sure.
That was pretty funny though. They do have to say.
But I don't know. I had no idea that like that girl was gonna like. And I felt bad for like when she said all she did was post a picture or whatever. Like, I mean, she probably didn't think anything about that, like that was just, she was excited that she was going to get to work with Addison today. And
I mean, she was, but at the same time, she comes from, the whole reason she's there is because she's in one of, the banned states.
But like she said too, though, she's in Seattle where she thought, this is somewhere where this is allowed to happen. And I guess in her head, like it wouldn't be the same problem it would be, say, here in Kentucky. I mean, like it would just be a different thing.
But I mean, still, it's like, you can take,
I know.
You can take the girl out of Kentucky. You can't take the Kentucky out of the girl. You'd think that she'd still have that mindset somewhere like deep in her psyche that, hey, I don't want to do this because this still freaks me out, even if I feel it's safe here.
I don't know. I think maybe she just felt excited because she did feel like it was safe there, and it's probably not something that she's allowed to do back where she is without fear of that. And so I could see where she would be feeling like, I can finally like say, like, be excited about this and post about this because I'm in a safe place now. And
I mean, in any case, I wasn't upset with her for it.
Yeah.
It's not like she was actively like wanting any of this to happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought she was going to be a lot worse. Like I had like this villain mentality when I saw her. Like I said at the beginning, she ended up not being as bad as.
No, not
but
at all.
I knew she was going to be some kind of pivotal point to this storyline.
Yeah. That's very impressed, because I honestly saw this. I'll tell y'all now, okay? I saw this going so different, and I think it's because Amanda had already watched and had already stressed me completely out about what was going to happen. I honestly, do y'all want to know? Okay, so I mean, we can talk about like, we're having this lovely moment of the pregnant woman ends up going into labor. She's having to give birth, and I mean, I felt so sorry for her because the atmosphere that you're having to give birth in is definitely not what you imagine,
Yeah.
And them all singing or whatever, like I thought that was really sweet. It was such a great moment, but in my head I'm thinking there's a brand new baby there. Like, is this place gonna blow up? Like, I thought they were getting ready to bomb the place or something. Like, I thought I was like taking in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, so she's there and she's there. These are all my favorite characters. And then I'm stressed. I'm like, there's a baby. There's a brand new baby. Like, I was stressed. I thought the whole place was going to blow up and it was going to be some big cliffhanger. I really did. This is what I thought was going to happen.
I mean, it could have been worse.
It could have been. That's what I thought.
I should wait probably 5 minutes before I like text you guys in like some kind of panic. but I was on high alert because when they walked out of the building and it was kind of like that open area and they're just like standing around and I'm
Those
like,
shooters. And then I
move,
got upset.
move.
Yeah, I know. I just kept
And
picturing
run
like worst case
faster.
scenarios. So like when the girls get hit by the car, I mean, like obviously that's serious. But like I've already pictured a bomb, I've pictured a sniper, like I've already pictured all these other things happening that the car is like, oh.
Oh,
And I was
fine.
kind of mad at Addison. I feel like she dragged the pregnant girl in front of the car. Did you all notice this? Like, wouldn't it
I
have been
think she
better
was
to
trying to
push
pull her out of the
Well,
way.
but don't you think it might have been better to like push her the other direction instead of dragging her completely in front of the car? That's
I
just
was really lost with the whole with that whole scene because like I went back and I watched it again.
she literally pulls her in front of the car
She
and the
pulls her like, yeah, she pulls her like the car pretty much like it hit the OB,
Yeah.
but it barely like it kind
It
of
didn't
like
hit
grazed
Addison.
Addison, but yet Addison's like on the ground and it looks we'll talk about the preview later,
I
but
mean,
it
maybe
looks
she hit
like
her
she
head,
had
but
something serious, but it didn't look like
Yeah.
it really even hit Addison.
That's
head on.
I was a little bit confused with this too because I knew that the pregnant girl had taken the brunt of the hit, but Addison wasn't
Yeah.
waking up. So I was like, what?
so maybe she hit her head, and maybe that's why they're also calling. I don't know. We're not to the preview yet. We'll
Yeah.
hold that thought for just a moment, okay? But no, I mean, like, so I don't know. I was stressed like a lot more than I thought I would. I don't know. I thought so. Thanks, Amanda. Actually, you actually softened the blow for me because I thought something even worse was going to
Oh,
happen.
good. You're welcome.
So thanks for that.
That's exactly what she was going for.
See, I was expecting like a shooter or something. So the car came out of when the car came, I was like,
Like a drive-by shooting.
I thought there was going to be a sniper on a building. Is what I
no,
really
that's what I
thought.
thought. And so
They
when
were
the
going to
car
start
hit,
shooting.
I was
everybody.
more surprised by the car than I would if someone got shot.
Yeah, because we had talked about bulletproof vests and stuff. So like yeah. That's what
Teddy
I
this week though. Can we go back to Teddy for just a minute because she
loved her.
was
Oh,
amazing this week and
Isn't
even made me laugh during this very stressful episode.
Yeah.
I loved her.
No, so good.
I mean,
I
let's talk about last year when we were talking about Teddy and how much we hated
Yeah.
Teddy. Like, no,
She's
not even last year, like the year before last. We
Yeah.
hated her.
the thing is, Teddy at her best is
It's great.
hilarious. She
Mhm.
is so funny,
Yes.
Mhm.
not in a way that's, I don't know, not in a way that's like too much, I guess. It's
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I was laughing even this week with some of her scenes. And I was like, this is a serious episode, but this is funny.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. Can you please quiet your voices so I can hear the one in my head?
And then when she saw all the people from the clinic like in the lobby, she's like, what are they doing here? And Levi's like, do you want the voices in your head to answer that?
I know. But I loved the way she handled that whole situation. Like I think she's like Richard said, I mean, I think she is the perfect person for the job. And I loved it. And I even loved that Owen like complimented her like
Yeah.
later and told her like, I mean, that was
So
like
awesome.
the first nice moment we've had between those two in a very long time.
We got a little bit of one last week
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
at the very end.
Well, and he was really cute at the beginning of the episode too, though. When like here she's talking about stuff, and then she like he's so happy to see like an ambulance rolling up. Like he was just like, I mean, like a kid that just can't wait to go play with a new toy or something because he just hasn't been able to do this in so long. So that was cute.
Yeah, no. She's like, go get your trauma.
Unsupervised. He was like, okay. Yeah. That was cute. So I'm ready to see them back to like normal, like because I was about
Yeah.
done with them.
I am too.
I was done with the way they were speaking to each other. Like it was just getting so old. And to
Absolutely.
finally see them, complimenting each other and being like, okay, I know you're excited about this. Go play with your traumas. And it was just nice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We needed this.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Something else was cute. I guess in the midst of all of this is how kind of worried like Link was about Joe.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready for that one to happen too. Like I
Me
liked
too.
it,
I need them to be together.
I need them together too.
Wasn't a fan before, but now I really need it to happen.
Yeah. No, I
I think
agree completely.
It's been long enough.
Yes.
They've given us a chance to really see this play out more to the point where now we can be on board with it. Before it was just like going from point A to point B like in 60 seconds.
Well,
Exactly.
Like at first it felt like just a hookup, like to help him get over Amelia. So like I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But now like
It's been long enough. Now we can enjoy it.
yes. No, I completely agree.
Also, this lady going into labor.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit confused at the beginning of why she was just like singing the Lion King song to Prue. And then I loved how it came all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And they started singing.
Can I just talk about her singing that to Prue? Miranda is a much better, more patient mother than I am, because I would have been like, brush your teeth, child. Like, because mine do this. Like, just lollygagging around, like, Prue, brush your teeth. Like, we have to go. We are late. I mean, I would have been yelling at my kids.
But no, Bailey was like, oh, okay, you want to brush your teeth in the sink? Go brush your teeth in the kitchen. I'm like, brush your dang teeth.
And then she let her put the toothpaste on it and everything. I am way too, like, crazy about that. Like, I mean, I barely let Shelby do it now, and she's almost 7.
My kids are 9 and 10 years old. Emmett will be 11 tomorrow. I still to this day watch them brush their teeth. I put the toothpaste on their toothbrush for them.
Yeah, I usually do it for Shelby. Elena does it herself now, but
no, I don't even trust them. Like again, boys drives me insane.
But I was thinking, oh my gosh, that toothpaste can get everywhere. So I don't know. So well done, Miranda, for being such a patient, because that's probably the better way to handle things. This is why my kids tell me that I yell too much, because I do. Like, I would have yelled.
Next time, just when they drive you crazy, just sing, in the jungle.
I'm probably not going to sing because I don't have the voice that she has. So I don't think I don't think it would have the same effect. They would be like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Like,
stop, please.
Behave, just stop singing.
Okay.
You know what? It might work though, if that's the case. Like, okay, you gotta brush your teeth. Otherwise, I'll sing louder. Yeah.
Like, okay, when I drop off at school, I'll sing even louder than that.
Well, that would be bad. We're not even allowed to have the radio on to where anyone can hear it when we get out of the car.
Is that an Elena thing?
Elena has to turn it down because.
Oh, I thought you meant that was a school rule.
No, that's just Elena because it's completely
uncool. What kind of school are you taking your kids to?
I was like, my school, they like have like this huge speaker, and every morning the kids come up, they're playing Kids Bop for them to walk into the school with.
Awesome. Now Elena has to turn it down because
we were listening to fake Cardi B the other day.
Oh, nice. All right. See,
well,
my kids know the real Cardi B. So they would be singing the real words, which is not good.
Oh man. Anyways.
But so now we can talk about our crazy like next week.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm a little confused on why. I mean, it has to be that maybe Addison hit her head, because there is the moment too, and Amelia looks really panicked, which I know part of that is because it's Addison, but maybe it's also because they're paging for neuro or something. Like,
yeah.
So maybe that's why. But I was not really that worried about Addison. I'm more worried about the pregnant woman. I'm like, is the baby okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's got me
sad. She's really like, she's pretty pregnant.
Yeah.
She seems like, yeah.
I mean, if I'm guessing, I mean, at least 7-8 months at the very, very least, by the way she looked. So
I was gonna say around 7. So yeah, I think we're.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty pregnant, but not pregnant enough to like go into labor. So like that's where it's stressful.
I know. And now we have. I feel like we just had a lockdown, didn't we? Or is that another show? Did we just have a lockdown somewhere?
No, they were taught last week in the preview. They showed Teddy calling for a hospital-wide lockdown, but it didn't happen. But I guess it's happening in part 2, which is next week.
Okay.
What would they call? Oh, I guess yeah.
I got. Well, yeah, because I think the car just took off, so they don't know if they're going to come after anybody else.
Yeah.
So they're going to have. I mean, unless something else maybe happens that we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to have to see next week. It's going to be stressful.
Yeah.
I will watch it on Friday morning when I
really think Addison will be fine. I
do too. I don't think
that would be a huge hit if you like. And why would you kill someone who's just a reoccurring character, anyways?
Yeah, it doesn't. And I honestly feel like Addison will be fine. I was very stressed about it when it very first happened.
Yeah.
I have to say, I didn't even look at the other girl. I was just looking at Addison on the ground. I was like, "Calm down."
I was looking at the poor pregnant girl that Addison pulled in front of the car. I was like, what are you doing? Like, if you
I
just
rewound
pushed
twice.
her,
I looked at both
you
of
had
them.
pushed her and you jumped back, I feel like no one would have gotten hit and everything would have been okay. But instead, you like drug her and like threw her on top of the car. Is what it looks like. Like it's
I
like
think she was really trying to like push
I
her
know what she
out of the
was
way.
trying to do, but whoever directed that scene did not. It did not get pulled off the way I think you wanted it to.
It looked like Addison was trying to murder the poor girl.
It really did. If you go back and watch it, she literally takes her and tosses her onto the car, basically. Like
I know you're pregnant, but I have more to offer.
yes, I mean that's what it looked like, and I know that's not the case, but like
You posted that picture.
Huh?
I know where this conversation is going.
This is your
Payback.
fault. You know, all you had to do was just give her a little shove. Now that could, I mean, granted, yes, she's pregnant, and that could be dangerous too. But I feel
Oh,
like that would have been less dangerous than throwing her on top of the moving vehicle.
I know, this is horrible. I'm very, very worried for the pregnant lady because I think she definitely got the brunt of it.
Yeah.
I
Or even
think-
her, even less her than, I mean, I'm worried about her baby. I don't, it seems unrealistic that her child would survive that. Now, maybe they'll do it.
Kids in the womb. They're pretty protected.
But I feel like it would send her into labor and the baby's too early to be delivered.
If she's 7 or 8 months, no, not really.
No, don't you?
I mean, the baby's gonna be in the NICU for a while. Hopefully, if the baby survives, but it's not a total done deal yet. We don't know.
I think like 20 something weeks is considered is considered viable, like where the baby could has a higher possibility of surviving. But
Elena was only like 35 weeks and she was like not even 6 pounds. So like I feel like
my friend had her baby at 23 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And that kid is 7 today.
Wow.
So I mean, I
know it's possible. That's who I'm worried. I'm mostly worried about the unborn child.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm just sitting here thinking positively and just going, the baby's fine.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Baby's
I mean,
fine.
Graze is pretty bad, but sure, let's not kill the unborn child, please. That's like
don't be mean.
Yeah.
Don't be mean.
We'll see.
I knew her name right before we started this new showrunner. I just cannot remember her name now. Keep wanting to say Rebecca or something. It's not. It's absolutely not that.
Oh yeah, we gotta know who to blame for all these things now.
No, it says executive producer Meg Marina set to take over from Krista Vernoff as showrunner.
Yeah. So yell at Meg from now on.
Meg.
Whenever things don't go our way.
Meg. We gotta remember your name so I can yell at you.
So Meg is the person to blame now.
Okay. Gotcha.
She's apparently been part of the show since season 3. Though. So
she probably won't change too much then.
No.
Yeah, it'll be about the same.
She started off at we're gonna give you a little history lesson on Meg here.
Okay.
She started from a researcher and she worked her way all the way up to an executive producer. And now she's gonna be the showrunner. So she's worked her way up from the pretty much the lowest job you can get at Grey's, and I think that's really cool.
That's really cool. We can't yell at Meg then, because that's pretty cool.
Oh, Shonda made this show, and I'll still yell at her to this day. I don't care. Put her in front of me. I'll yell at her right now.
If she deserves it, then we can yell at her.
Well, no, I guess it was Krista that took DeLuca. So
please put me in a room with Shonda and Krista. We'll have
I'll watch that go down.
Right. We'll have a discussion.
I'll buy
very nice.
I would like to buy tickets to that conversation.
Who do we dislike more?
To watch
or Dick Wolf, right? These are our people that we get. Oh, all right. Well, I guess that's all that we got, right? For Grey's and Station 19.
I think so.
Make sure to come check out our Facebook group. It is Grey's Anatomy Grey Family Fan Club. Check out our other socials, and then tune back in. We have Sundays are our Fox days, which I'm guessing are just the 911s. There is no official word on the Resident yet, although it's not looking good. So I think those will just stay our 911s. Tuesdays we have our One Chicago's that come out, and then of course Wednesdays our ABC nights with the Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. So make sure to come back and check those out. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that's it. So, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.